It is 55 degrees outside. I have a NASCAR on the back of my shirt, and I'm going to show you how to fix your K-series wiring today. So roll the thing and the whatever it is. I keep thinking of changing that intro, but that'll probably be for another time. God, this car is dusty. So anyway, so let's go to Gibbs' house, and then we will jump into all of this stuff, and I'll start ripping it back apart to show you how I wired all this in. Temp gauge, RPM, your mile per hour, all that stuff. Man, the axle's shaking this freaking thing, and it drives me insane. I cannot stand it. I'm pretty sure they're insane shafts. Some people haven't had problems, and the majority of people that I've talked to have problems. So I guess I'm going to change those out soon. But welcome back to the night shift. I am Will Neidig, as you hopefully know, and we're on our way to Zach Gibbs' house, like every other video, normally. So the car's actually been sitting for a little while. I had recently put in Skunk 2 Pro S2 coilovers, and we put the function and form type 1s on his sedan. So we got his car lowered, and I put the S2s on this one. I like them so far, but I had lowered it so much in the front, and I turned preload up so much, it's still pretty bouncy. I've got to adjust the preload again, but I lowered it down so much that the control arms were just absolutely annihilating the strut towers, and I didn't like that. I didn't want that to keep happening. I mean, it was literally like riding in a wagon, and that was totally different from the old function form type 1s, because even though they were old, they still ride awesome. So I like these so far, but I've got to fine tune them a little bit to really get them where I want them. But I did lift the front up about another inch or so, you know, from when I initially put them on. One of the most common things that I see as far as people doing YouTube, doing K-Series Honda stuff, is they never follow up with a video saying, hey, I fixed my tachometer, I fixed my speedometer, I fixed my coolant temp gauge, and they never clarify it. It might not be the same for every, you know, EG and DC, but it'll at least give you some sort of general idea, and clearly they work. It's about 5 miles per hour off, so I'll have to adjust that in Honda. And of course, you have to do it by the speed sensor of the car, whether or not your transmission is a countershaft speed sensor driven car, or, you know, or trans. So all that has to be adjusted speed sensor wise for your speedometer in Honda for the most part. But I'm going to go through, usually I don't think you have to mess with fuel at all. Your fuel gauge, like my fuel gauge worked, but the other 3 gauges were dead when I initially did the swap. Everything worked as far as in Honda, it got the speed signal from the speed sensor to the computer, but it didn't get it to the dash, you know, through the conversion harness, because I didn't have it hooked up. So it's relatively simple. It's like 3 wires that you've got to do, that you've got to mess with. It's really, really not hard. But that's another reason why this video is so important for most people like me. When I was trying to do this swap, and I was like, man, nobody's explaining, hey, how do I fix my gauges? I want to retain the factory cluster. What do I do to do that? VTech Academy has one video on it, and then they have another video on adjusting how much your speedometer's off. But that's it. Like, they don't go through a whole lot of other stuff. So that's what I want to do in this video. Drinking energy drinks is bad for you. Well, I got water too, so it cancels it out. One thing I did realize, I forgot my chapstick at home. Today's iffy. I mean, I'm like a forgotten wallet away, or like misplaced keys away from going to get another monster. Oh, damn it. Put it in here. Oh, shit. There's a second. All right. Think of line up, man. Sheep. You gotta come with them gifts, you know what I'm saying? There we go.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Hey. Sit.
I think I LS in it. Daggum slicks, man.
That's why I wasn't beating on it doing the burnout.
I think it's gonna go somewhere now.
I think so.
Well, you made another YouTube video.
Again?
Yep. Oh, the center bay looks like crap. But, so your wiring up here, you know, from factory, you've got your little connectors and stuff like that. So, there is one. Let me go in here and try and find a flashlight. What up? It looks alright. Alright. So, it's a little bit of a mess in here, but it's wired up decently. It's just I haven't really gotten around to going back and really cleaning a lot of this stuff up. Let me get a 10. I'm going to pull this nut off. I modified this bracket so that I could put the PRB ECU in the factory spot and cover it with the factory cover, just to kind of give it a cleaner look. But let me get a 10 and pull that off so you can see the connector better. Okay, so what you've got is this guy right here. See that splice? It'll focus. Let's see. Okay, so that guy right there, I've got this red wire, you know, tied into it, and it goes all the way back to the driver's side of the car. Well, this yellow and blue wire right here, I didn't, you know, just take it out. I actually just added the wire so that I could take that signal and basically made it into the factory car's wire harness. So on this plug, let me get that out. So I'm pretty sure this one's A, this one's B, and this one's E. I'm pretty sure. So you don't do anything with A at all. Your B plug is where you're going to add your, basically you're pinning in to add your countershaft speed sensor wire. This is for a, you know, my transmission is a countershaft speed sensor driven trans, so it's 06 and up, you know, Civic Si K20Z3 6-speed trans. So it would be the same thing for a Z1 trans. So if yours isn't this way, you might not have to do this, but I'm not 100%, but this is how I had to do it personally. So on this plug, that white wire, of course, I've got a rye wire engine harness, so all the wires are black in both the A and B ECU plugs. So I took a regular wire. You D-pin the wire that's in that hole right there, or at least I did, and then I ran it from the plug, goes over, and comes into this C101 plug, your main engine harness plug. And I believe that's pin 3, and that's all I did. So you're basically just taking this pin 3 of C101, because there's already a wire there, but I don't think there was one on this side. I can't remember which one it is. It's been a little while since I did it, but C101, go down to B plug, D-pin the wire that's in that pin. It's 1, 2, 3. It's the 4th position in the 2nd row when you're looking at the back of the connector. Like I said, I don't remember all the pins, or the pin numbers and all that crap, but you can see it clear as day. So that, and that's for your speedometer. So tach, your E plug, which is attached to your conversion harness. This lower, let's see if it'll focus. Nope, I'm too close. Anyway, that little yellow wire right there, bottom row, right smack dab in the middle, is a yellow and blue wire. Come on, man. God. Maybe it'll focus a little bit better like this. Okay, anyway. So yeah, so it goes to the bottom of the plug. You're not actually taking this wire out. You're just adding a wire into the side of it. So that's all I did. I just spliced it in with it, kept the regular connection for the computer, and then added this wire to go over to the dummy plug, basically, that is on the driver's side strut tower for your tachometer. So that will fix your tach. Your C101 to B plug, pins I showed you, that will fix your speedometer. And of course, like I said earlier, you will have to go into Hondata and choose which speedometer you have. And like I said, as a warning, I don't know if it's the same for the other speed sensors. You know, this is for countershaft driven. But also your coolant temp. So another thing that I was wondering about was, like, okay, your coolant temp needs a ground, right? On your conversion harness, that wire, that's basically all it is. So it's confusing me, because I was like, well, my engine harness already has that wire in it. So I was like, why does the conversion harness have it? So a little bit of research, it's like, okay, it needs a ground signal. Well, it turns out, if you just take that wire and put it straight to body ground, your needle just pegs completely, for your coolant temp. And I was like, okay, well, sweet. So another fellow K-Series guy that I know through, mutual friends had ended up telling me about the ground wire on the C101 plug for your coolant temp from the conversion harness. And I was like, well, that's perfect. That's the last thing I need, and so this yellow wire right here, and it's labeled, it's got coolant temp on it. So this guy is just chilling, with all the other ones. I don't really care about any of this other stuff.
I didn't have to use fan switch. I didn't have to use charge or any of that crap. So clearly I've got that left out. But this yellow wire, your coolant temp wire, I spliced it in to C101, and it is this one right there beside your connector release. That one right there. So anyway, it's this wire right here. This guy. So I spliced that in to your yellow coolant temp wire from the conversion harness, and everything worked. So you tach your Speedo and your coolant temp right there, and it all works. So now that we're done with the K-series wiring on the Integra, let's update on the S10 a little bit.
So we have.
Go ahead.
We have switched from a Salsa AR5 to a Colorado AR5. So
This pile.
Yeah, this Salsa's laying on the floor. The remote shifter setup not gonna work in the truck, and this drive shaft setup not gonna work in the truck. So ditched it for Colorado style. The output shaft on the Colorado splines directly up with the factory drive shaft out of the truck. That fixes all those issues. At most, lengthen or shorten the factory drive shaft, no big deal.
Well, and also, you had to swap bell housings.
But
right?
yeah, but it's bolt-on bell housing is all it is.
Oh, yeah,
I
but
still had to have the 2-2 bell housing
yeah.
off of the Solstice strands, so solstice, however you say it. Much better shifter alignment.
Yeah. So now it's actually in the hole, whereas before it was like right there. So it was further back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like right here.
Yep.
And the issue was kind of like me and the Integra. I didn't want to cut and damn chop the freaking body of the truck or the car up. He didn't want to chop the truck up, so that's kind of the best option.
Yep. So now we are going to work on getting the engine sat in a little bit better because it's not in correctly still. But now with that other trans, that'll make that easier. Gonna cut and section the front cross member as needed to be able to move forward and set the engine down level and get it further in the engine bay. We may end up having to ditch the front sway bar for the time being and work out something else for that. That's really it right now.
Yeah.
Just waiting on getting the prime guy over here.
Yeah, because right now we're still
Sitting waiting.
yeah. So there's a bunch of. It's going to be a fully custom type of deal,
Yep.
but the transmission was a major concern.
This is going to make a lot of things easier.
So it's kind of set up, like this right now, but it's not. It can't stay that way.
No.
So
We thought it would, and it ain't going to work. So, also the very solid mounts, where it's literally just bolted to the frame of the truck after making some custom mounts for that.
yeah,
Probably not good for an aluminum block engine in the way I'm going to drive it.
nope.
So we've got some, I think 240. I don't know, just random post style mounts that we can cut up to length as needed, as it's just a giant chunk of urethane.
Yeah. And just basically just weld a bracket
Yep.
that it goes in.
Weld a bracket similar to what we got, wherever we need to, however we need to, and then cut these down to size if needed.
Yeah.
So, and probably put better hardware in it because I hate that hardware.
That was kind of another reason that I really haven't posted too much, because as of right now, I needed to do a K-series wiring for the Speedo and tach and coolant temp, but at the same time, I also was trying to get, because a lot of people reacted to the S10 video, so I was trying to get more progress on video of this, but we just wasn't there yet.
Became very slow rolling.
Yeah, the initial one was definitely the easiest part. So,
oh yeah, the part where y'all come and made me dismantle my truck.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now it's slow, but we've at least got past one big hurdle.
We are making progress.
So now we're just waiting on Chase, the
sweet fab man.
the fab man.
So
Mr. Flat Rate is going to be over here in some videos as well, probably. That's he's made another
appearance.
Intro video,
It's not a minivan this time, though. Y'all calm down.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. People were like, "What's up with that minivan, though?" The funniest part is that it is tuned.
Well, it was.
It was. Okay.
Yeah, he don't have it no more.
Oh yeah, that's right. He traded it for a Jeep.
Yeah,
he is now Jeepel.
He's a Jupe guy. He's straight Juping.
He's now Jeepel. So
if y'all see him out and about, make sure you duck him. He loves getting ducked. He is a super fan of the duck collection.
So yeah, that's pretty much where it's at right now. And painting and welding and stripping paint and then painting it again and then welding and then moving and
whoever let me think it was a good idea to go ahead and paint the bay, why'd you do that? That was terrible.
Yeah.
That was wasted effort. The good news is I've decided to change the color of the bay anyway, so
yeah,
it's fine that we destroy the glossy black paint I put in.
Land Gibbs found another home for his BBS wheels temporarily, and they are now on the 97. Got some low on it now.
Daily became much less of a daily really fast.
Yeah.
I'm not real good at this daily thing. I don't know.
Shock towers? Who needs those?
Yeah.
We don't need them.
Stock cars are for rich people or poor people. I don't really know which one it is. The thing for me, actually, I want to look at shock towers and see if one of them's got a hole in it.
Yeah.
The railroad tracks last night were not very kind. No, surprisingly, they're not even dented. That is an absolute miracle.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Which actually makes me a bit concerned that extensions ain't gonna help.
I think mine, on the other hand, is not. That's a bolt.
Yeah, it is. Good night. Yeah, you were hitting a lot harder than me, apparently. You think that's
slamming
it from before you lifted it?
No, that was before I lifted
Okay.
it. Same thing over here. I mean, straight, just slam those things, man. Oh well.
Was your Del Sol was cut out or was it beat out?
No, they were cut.
Okay.
Yeah. There is a Civic behind me. So, as always, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you got something from it. Gibbs and I are on our way to Taco Smell to get some feed. And then I'm going back to the house and do laundry and dishes and get ready for work. So, thanks so much for watching. Until next time.